for tuning in. My name's Keisha. I'm the founder of Upgraded MindsetZ and the host of the Empowering Real Talk podcast. Since you are tuning in, let me tell you, expect unfiltered dialogues on relevant topics designed to help unlock effective personal, professional, and entrepreneurial growth. The Empowering Real Talk podcast will encourage you to implement any necessary steps to activate and achieve greater success on any and every level. Listen, in order for us to grow individually and as a whole, these conversations are necessary. I appreciate your support. Let's get it. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Empowering Real Talk. It is your girl, Coach K. And if you are seeing me on screen, then you see I'm not by myself. But before I get started, I definitely want to make sure that you have subscribed to the channel, because if you see me, then that means you're watching on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the Upgraded MindsetZ Media channel, all right? But I am super geeked about this episode, y'all, because I have a phenomenal guest here. I'm super excited to dig into a whole bunch of shit with him, all right? So I'm gonna allow him the honor of introducing himself. What's good? What's good? What's good?
What's going on, y'all? My name is Kenneth Goldbolt III. I'm an author, speaker, coach, consultant, and have been in the game now for about 20 years.
Love it. I'm super excited. Thank you for one. Bless and Empowering Real Talk. Man. Like, you know, we have had multiple conversations, and I'm just super honored to have you here on the podcast because we got some shit to talk about.
Oh man, look, when you asked me, I was like, oh yeah, that's my girl.
Hey,
I gotta get on that.
Period. Yeah. And I thank you for that.
For sure.
So you know, me and Ken kind of share similarities. It's crazy because our backstories are a little similar, you know, but one thing that I know that Ken specializes in a lot is trauma. And one thing that I have learned being on my journey is we all have experienced some form of trauma, right? And it's different with everybody. But sometimes we don't identify that, and we have suppressed those things for so many years, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about trauma. We're going to talk a little bit about discovering ourselves and really becoming who it is that we are supposed to be, because it's a lot of us out here that are not walking in that journey. And I really want this episode today to be a reflection of that. So you can say, you know what? I'm about to step my game up and become the most empowering version of myself. So, Ken, just a little backstory. They don't need to know everything because they can get the books and everything, you know, with regards to that. So just kind of what actually led you to do what it is that you do, everything that you do.
Okay. So, what led me to it was I was a broken kid who had faced all this trauma, all of this pain. I didn't know what to do with it. And so it was leading me down the road that I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And then I started to discover myself, and I started to understand that, like, if I didn't heal, then I was going to reap the same benefits that I had saw generations way before me. And so I went on a long healing journey. I took the long route. So I help people take the short route.
Right.
So I took the long route of the healing process. And then once I discovered, I was like, man, like, I can't keep this to myself. I want to make sure that I have an opportunity to give this back to my people. So
I love that shit. Like, and that's what is so important, right? Really discovering who you are. I have had conversations with so many women. Y'all know I help women. But I've had conversations with men too, but y'all know my purpose is us, y'all. But I have had so many conversations with us, and we really just don't know who we want to be, who we are. You know what I'm saying? And we lack that. And we feel like that we're just supposed to be that way. And I love the word you said, because generational. Yeah. You know, that's something that has been programmed into us to say, oh, I'm supposed to be like that. My mom was this way. My grandma was this way. But what about you? Right. Like, so, what are you supposed to be?
That's funny you said that. Like, before I started going on that journey, I was actually looking for a black male who had taken that journey.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was searching and I couldn't find any. Right. Most of the people I talked to, they're like, man, you don't really want to dig in that stuff. That's just what make you soft.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, at this point, I don't care about being soft. I want to be free.
That part.
So if me being soft gives me the freedom that I need, then I want it. Like, because the depression and the flashbacks, all the pain that I'm feeling, like, I don't want to feel this no more. And I think, like, when you think about trauma, most people are afraid to talk about it, because I feel like in today's time, trauma is a big topic, but they don't share the freedom of it.
They don't.
So it's like, oh, you got trauma, you got trauma, you got trauma. Then everybody, oh, we're together, we all got trauma.
Right.
But
But
no
what?
one's talking about like the
That
freedom
part.
of the trauma. So
That part.
regardless of what you've gone through, or regardless of what you face, like anything's overcome.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
if you're gonna it's like this: when you open that can of trauma, all you see is the ugliness in it,
Mhm.
right? But nobody talks about what it looks like when you empty out all of that junk and you start pouring in new stuff to that. And that's that
Absolutely.
freedom. So
It is so freeing because I had to learn, like, I suppressed a lot of things, you know, I suppressed so many things in life. And 2020 was that breaking point for me. You know, I was like mentally down. Like I was really ready to do damage to either myself or somebody else, you know, and y'all know I'm very transparent in this story, but like 2020 was that breakthrough year for me. And I had to step into getting so uncomfortable because that's the one thing that we don't want to do. Like, you know, I heard somebody say, you know, yeah, everybody is aware of mental health, but what are we doing to break the stigmas of mental health? And I agree with you 100%. We all talk about we have these, but what are we doing to break free from them? And a lot of times nobody has the answers to that, you know, and nobody wants the answers because what I actually feel like too is a lot of people are okay in their struggles because it gives them a sense of attention. It gives them a sense of saying, oh, you know, well, you supposed to treat me like this because of what I've gone through.
Right.
You don't know what I've gone through. You know, I have conversations and people be like, girl, I did not know you went through all that. Like people be like, I did not use a cancer survivor. I know because I don't wallow in those paths. Am I blessed to be a survivor? You damn right. But you're not gonna hear me talk about that every time you have a conversation with me. I'm not gonna give you all the woes. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you all the triumphs because that's what I want you to understand because you're capable of having those too.
I struggle because like when I'm in circles or when I'm trying and speaking, you know, people always like, man, you share your story with so much passion.
Yeah.
And I said, that's because I'm free now, right?
Come on,
And I always tell people that there's no freedom without forgiveness. And when I'm coaching people and we're in a group coaching or whether I'm doing individual, like we're gonna hit that topic.
We're gonna hit it.
Right. Because there's some people I gotta let go that's been controlling me my whole life. But one of the things that uh really made me start pursuing that freedom was my mom contracted full blown AIDS when I was 12
Okay.
when we first found out. And that was a long journey for us because during that time in the 90s, it was new. So I remember going to people's houses and having to eat on paper plates. I remember my grandmother kicking us out. All the stigmas. And so I hated my mom for that, right? I remember having a conversation and she was like, I'm still your mom, right? And I was like, I got a lot of moms. And I saw the hurt and the pain that caused her. And it wasn't until we reconciled a year and a half before she passed. And that was probably the best year and a half I ever had with my mom. When I went home to have that conversation and forgive her, I didn't know her story. I didn't know her pain. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
And so I was hating someone who in reality was hating themselves. And so that's just like that's a ball of hate, right? And I remember when I told her, man, I forgive you, and we started working on our relationship. And so the last month and a half of her life, like I served her to death. Like I was literally in the room when she breathed the last breath. And that's when I got to know what freedom would really be like, right? So her boyfriend, when we were younger, tried to kill us. And so I went through this deep, dark journey. And you know, when you come from the hood, they always tell you what happens in this house
stays in this house. Man.
One of the worst things you could ever tell somebody or someone could ever go through. Because we learned at an early age that you suppress everything. But I remember he came to my mom's funeral. And after the funeral, I was leaving, going back to school, and his car was flying down the road. And when he stopped us, I didn't know who it was, so we pulled over. He pulled over, got out of the car, and I just remember like, man, I ain't that 5-year-old kid no more.
Right.
I was like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I'm 185 pounds. I'm working out every day.
What's good?
Like, this is my chance to get my get back. But he said, man, I'm so sorry, like for what I did to you that night. And he said something to me. He said, it just blocked me. What did he say? He said, uh, I I never knew that those things affected you the way. And
That's
so
crazy.
at that moment, I was able to extend that forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know, he passed away like probably a year and a half after that,
Yeah.
right? But I just remember that day showing that forgiveness. But the one thing that stuck with me was when he said, I never knew. And so at that moment, I was like, yeah, I got to find this freedom because all the people that have hurt me,
Yeah.
they out there living their best life
Yeah.
in their own mind. They not even thinking about what they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I'm talking from the sexual abuse, the mental, emotional, all of it, right? And so I was like, man, I'm going.
Yeah.
I gotta go find that freedom.
It's crazy how that situation right there really just triggered that
Yeah.
for you to be like, hey, I got to, because and I want people to really hear what he just said, because he said these people out here living their best life. Anybody that has done damage to you, trauma, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have had those experiences, y'all, probably more than I want to count. But I had to really say, you know what? I gotta forgive them for me.
Yeah.
Because they living their life. Shit. Who's to say they dealing with their inner struggles, but they ain't gonna never tell me that.
Yeah, for a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, I gotta break free from that. And also involving like that people pleasing and to being so super supportive for everybody and putting everybody else's needs ahead of my own. Man, I did that shit so much. Like, I look back and I used to get mad at myself. That was the only emotion that I identified with, was anger. Yep, I would get up, go help out people, but guess what I'm doing when I get there? I'm fussing at their ass. This is the last time I'm doing this shit for you. I'm sick of this. I'm da 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 da.
Yeah.
And guess what?
And you might as well be there tomorrow.
Right,
Yeah.
right back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but like, I didn't know who I was though. I knew I was a supportive person, but I really didn't know what I wanted. I was really just living day to day, and a lot of us do that. We just functioning.
We survived.
I'm tired of surviving. I
Man.
was tired of surviving.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? And I was ready to thrive. And before 2019, entrepreneur, who? Yeah, I was fine working my corporate job. I was making good money. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But that self-discovery moment for me in 2020, hey, upgraded mindsets. I took a 30-day fast from social media right during the pandemic. Like April of 2020, I took that fast at a time where we weren't supposed to be around nobody doing nothing. But I needed to log off of social media because mentally, hey, I was ready to check out. You know what I'm saying? So I took that, and in that 30-day fast, I journaled. And I came up with my name, my business name, during that fast because my clarity was coming. And it was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go ahead and make myself an official coach. Because in that reflection, I had already been doing that. My old job called me the bone collector because everybody would come talk to me and they knew that I wouldn't be going relaying everybody's business. So just really identifying who I was at that time, I still had work to do. And today I still got work to do. But that's the dope part about it, is becoming a lifelong learner, because I wasn't. Hey, I was always right. Who? And I'm gonna argue with you. Right. Like, I might even be wrong, but I'm still gonna argue.
You're still right. So when you think about it, right? Like when you talk, especially being minorities,
yes.
We grow up in environments to where everything's toxic. So when you start to get out of toxic, you don't know. Like, I remember when I got to college, and all the dudes, like, they dap and then they hug. Like, I'm trying to push them away. I'm like, bro, we don't do that. We don't
do that here.
Do that for right?
Right.
So like now when I'm in the hood, I see little homies and I dap them and I embrace them. They look at me weird, and I'm like, yeah, I remember where you were, but I just want you to know, like, I genuinely care about you.
Yeah.
Right, and I want you to know that it's okay to let that side of you show, right? But when you talk about self-discovery, it's healing the pain first. Most people don't want to do it.
Man, they don't want that. So that shit is ugly.
It's ugly, right? So what do? You cover it up.
Yeah.
And then you pursue these dreams or these goals and these visions, and you never ever get a chance to accomplish them, right? And when you get to the top, you always see yourself coming back down. Because in order for you to go to the top and thrive there, you got to first deal with the root causes of your problems. And when I'm coaching, the first thing I do is I send them a workbook. And in the workbook, I want to know who are the people who hurt them, how much have they lost from the hurt and from the pain, And we are going to deal with those pain points. And if you learn somebody's from birth to where they are now, if you learn their life, what you'll understand is there's things that happened in the past that's keeping them where they're at. And so that there is no growth. But most people don't want that.
They don't
For some reasons. I don't think a lot of people know how to do it because it's scary.
Yeah.
And the other reason, you've built this fake image. And then now you don't want to lose that either.
Hey, that part.
Right? You don't want to lose it.
Hey,
Because if
there's
you
not much of that
yeah,
going on.
yeah, if you lose it, you lose everything.
Yes.
But
you do, you really don't.
No. And I was just going to say this.
Yeah.
What I tell most people is this. The reason why you feel like you're losing people and the reason why they're leaving, because you are no longer beneficial to them.
Yeah, buddy.
Right? The number one person in the world to profit off of is a broken black.
And that's crazy as hell.
Prison system profits off of it.
Yeah.
Right? The work environment profits off of it. Generations profit off of it. Schools profit off of it, right? Why? Because these kids are growing up without their fathers in their crib. Right? Here's the facts, though. They know this stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Right? We know this stuff.
We do.
And yet we continue, right? Like, I was afraid to heal because I didn't feel like I would be accepted.
Yeah.
Right? And the truth is, in the beginning, I wasn't accepted. Right?
Because it's that ain't the norm.
Yeah, no.
They like, oh, what you healing? What's that? Like, what is that?
You think you're better than me.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
God.
You know what I'm saying? But you think you're better than me. You remember where you were? Oh, absolutely.
I do.
Right? But I'm not there no more.
I'm not.
Right?
And you're not going to make me feel bad for not being there anymore.
So here, let me throw you the rope. And anytime you want, I'll pull you to this side and let you see what it's like.
Yeah.
Like, growing up in the inner city, growing up in the hood, like, yeah, I sold drugs before. Like, I did all the stuff that was in there. And to be honest, in the beginning of the healing, it was comfortable to want to go back there because that's all I knew.
Because that's all you know.
Right? I didn't know what it was like to go home, be in your crib, and be comfortable.
Right.
Because you know you ain't out there doing nothing that you ain't got no business doing, right? I didn't know what it was like to go to neighborhoods and work in those neighborhoods, even though I knew I wasn't trapping or doing anything like that. Like,
right.
I didn't know what that was like. But once I found it, and once I got it, I ain't letting it go.
Hey, never.
We can't.
Never.
Because if we do, then you letting them win.
Yeah.
I got tired of allowing other people to win.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know what it was like to win.
I wanted to know what it was like to win. You better say it again.
Yeah.
Because one thing that I have learned is everybody ain't gonna be able to come with you on that winning journey. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing, because I have lost a lot of long-term friendships, relationships, and whatever else because I was ready to thrive. You know, and that's the saddest thing. Like, I really want us, I call it outdated thinking, right? It's very outdated. That whole sense of loyalty. And even you touched on it earlier, you know, having this facade of who people think you are, because if you don't do that, then you feel like you're gonna lose everything. But I just want people to understand you're not winning like that. You're not winning being fake and phony. I can only be authentically me. Even when I was struggling, right, I was still being authentic because I knew I was angry. So I was authentically angry as hell all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I was still being authentic. Yeah. I've never been fake. Right. But I never was really identifying with who I was and who I wanted to be. You know, I am very unapologetic. I'm very confident. You know, people like, oh, you know, it even the aesthetic of being a big girl, I don't give a damn about that. It ain't never stopped nothing. You feel me? So it's like, you're not gonna make me feel bad. I'm not gonna eat a pizza soda, and you still ain't gonna make me feel bad. You know what I'm saying? So like, because overall, hey, I have embraced everything about me, every aspect, and I want us to start being able to do that. And it's gonna be in steps, right? People feel like that you're supposed to have this whole overnight transformation, but every day that you are saying, I'm going to make the attempt, that's a win.
That's a win. You win.
You know what I'm saying? That's a win. And I want us to really stop being fake and phony. Yeah. Like, I want us to stop trying to get in spaces that aren't relevant to us. You know what I'm saying? Because make your own table. Like, I'm tired of people trying to get in tables and trying to be this certain way because you believe that that's how they being. But again, it all boils down to who being genuine, who being authentic.
Yeah. And you have to be able to understand that, like, genuineness, it's a good thing. regardless if other people aren't genuine.
Exactly.
Because that's not your problem.
Yeah, and I see that more normalized in authenticity versus being authentic. The inauthentic shit is what's being endorsed more.
Right.
You know, you got the social media aesthetics, and I want y'all to understand that yes, social media is real and raw, but you have control of what you see on social media. Y'all got to stop with this whole, you know, oh, I can't control it. Yes, the hell you can, because for one, you can log the hell off. Okay, log off. I run multiple businesses. I manage multiple social media accounts. But Ken, I'm gonna tell you, when I feel like I need to log off, baby, I'm logging off, and I'm letting my clients know, hey, I'm logging off. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back in 24 hours, or I might be back in 2 or 3 days. But I also have systems in place because I'm not gonna just let my business fail. But if your business is gonna fail, if you ain't posting in 2 or 3 days, you need to have some self-evaluation. Anyway, whole nother topic. You know,
when you use social media, what I think social media did was, I think there's good in it.
Yeah.
Right. But I also believe that it's allowed people to vocally say what they say. Because even if it's wrong, somebody out there gonna co-sign it.
You better say it again.
And so because you're getting co-signed, you believe that what you said was just right. But that was probably the most toxic thing you could ever say in your life.
Yeah.
And if you were to place that with reality, you know what you said is no reality. It has no reality.
None.
Right? None. But people co-sign you.
Yeah.
So even if you get one like on a post, that's toxic.
That's toxic.
You don't feel like you said something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. All it does is affect you.
Yeah.
I can tell a person's lifestyle by what they feel. Like, but I remember being there.
Yeah.
Every time I was mad, I'm gonna post about it.
Yeah.
And every time I'm upset, I'm gonna post about it.
Right. No dissertation, you know.
Even though you don't put their name,
right.
People know who you're talking about, right?
Well, everybody hopping on there. Who you talking about? And what you see, I'm gonna inbox you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna inbox you. Why? Why are you feeding into that?
They want.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about them.
Yeah.
And they are not thinking about you at all. One of the things that like changed my perspective was 2020 was a really rough year.
Yeah.
Right. So I told both of my patella tendons. I was in the hospital for 6 weeks. Couldn't walk. Yeah, went jumping on the trampoline. Don't know the story at all. I wish I had something else to say. But my niece dared me to do a front flip, not even a back flip. All right, I couldn't even do a front flip. So I was in the hospital. And I remember they came to me and they was like, hey, we can get you to go to this facility that your insurance for, but I'm gonna be honest with you, they're not gonna give you the work you need to get back on your feet. And you're gonna have to pay out of pocket. So I had enough money in my account to cover all my bills during the time I was gonna be down, but I did not have the money to pay for the facility.
Okay.
Mind you, at that time I'm going through a custody battle. Yeah. So I'm paying lawyer fees, this, and this, right? And my buddy was like, man, you've helped so many people. We're just gonna do a GoFundMe. And I probably had like,
I know that was tough for you.
Man, it was hard. I had 6 people get it, right? Now, mind you, I'm on planes, I'm traveling, I'm flying, I'm doing all this stuff. And when I laid in that hospital bed that day, after realizing all I had given, all that I still continue to give, and no one was there, man, I became very selfish in a good way.
Yeah.
And what it showed me was, man, you got to take care of yourself first.
Got to take care of
yourself. You have to take care of yourself first. So when it comes to posting on social media, I understand that I can get feedback from people.
Right.
But how is that taking care of me? Secondly, I often tell people, if you got something to say, wait 24 hours.
Yeah.
And if you still feel the same way, whatever, do what you got.
Absolutely, because you done thought about it.
Yeah, you
know
done thought
what I'm saying?
about it.
Like, we have so many people that operate off of emotion, you know, and then I think, you know, one of my clients know that is one of the biggest things. If I see you operating off of emotion, we're going to have a conversation about it.
Or you're going to lose every time.
Every time.
You're going to lose.
Because 45 minutes after you done did that, now you like, now I'm deleting it. It's too late. Do you know how many people done screenshot of that? Like, let's be real. You can sit up here and say you had a moment, and I'm not taking away from people have a moment of vulnerability because we have it.
Sure.
But you still need to think about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Write it on a piece of paper, if nothing else. If you got to get it out your head, because I get it, because this old rack of mud right here, Hey, I tap right now,
Right.
but I have dozens
Yeah.
of notebooks that just got stuff in it that I'm frustrated about at that time. I'm not taking it to social media.
Right. Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking it to social media, and my clients know I'm very adamant about that.
Why?
You know,
Why?
exactly. Because that's the question you want to ask. Why?
So here's what I do, right? If I see something or see something, I'll message.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna post on it. I'm not even gonna like it. And I may say, she's short, man. You better than that.
Yeah.
Right? Oh man, man, you better than that.
Yeah. I don't gotta give you a long dissertation.
I don't need a dissertation. I don't need any of that because at the end of the day, they're gonna go on with their lives, right? And you're gonna be still looking for that validation.
Absolutely.
And if social media is where you get your validation from, you're gonna continue to lose.
That every time.
Bro, like I said, I remember being so broken, right? Going through the suicide attempts, going through all of that. And my energy came from people. Like I could be in a room with 20 people, and if one person says something negative, it ruined everything that was happening.
And that's a default for us,
Man,
right? That's a default.
Man, the hate real. And the hate comes with it. Right? Like I walk in a room sometimes, and when I walk in a room, like I already know what you said about me before I even get in the room.
People don't even get it, yo.
But you know what? I'm still finna
kick ass, baby.
And when I get in there, like you were going to know, you're gonna know I was there.
Yeah.
Right? And people's lives are gonna be changed.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna be stuck with those same feelings.
Yeah.
Because now I got you and I know what type of person you are. So I'm really not gonna mess with you. I'm not
man. Right? And that's okay. I need people to understand that it's okay. You have the choice. You have to say so. You have the power to be around whoever you want to be. I tell people all day, hey, I don't care what it is. It take one time for me to keep energy of people. I ain't finna be in them spaces. I'm not. And because people are like, oh, well, it could really help you. How? Because them spaces are wanting me to be inauthentic. It ain't shit about me inauthentic. So I'm not finna be in those spaces. You know, I don't care what it is. If it might take me a little bit longer because I'm not in those spaces, I'm totally okay with that. My mindset is ready for the journey. And I say it all the time. That's like my tagline. The journey is necessary. It's necessary every day. Whatever journey that might be for individuals, it's necessary. It's necessary for you to discover who you are. It's necessary for you to heal that trauma or begin that journey to start healing that trauma. If you have to depict one trauma experience at a time, then do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's necessary, man. It's necessary for us to recondition everything about us at some point.
Well, you said something that's important. You said, like, if I'm in a room and I can't be my authentic self, when I'm around other people or just to be able to get in that environment, like, you lose every time.
Every time.
Right? Because here's the truth. I've been in rooms and been in places where I turned down who I was.
Yeah.
And when I realized, man, God, you put me in that room for a reason.
Yeah.
And whoever I was supposed to touch or reach, like they just missed out.
Yes.
Because I allow what other people think about me or what they're gonna say.
You said something before. What you call it? That's a them problem.
Yeah, that's a them problem.
Hey.
Yeah. It's funny because in my new book we have a chapter called it's called Them and They. Right? Because most people never reach their destination or reach their goal or their dream because of they and them.
Yeah.
Like you gave them all of the attention, all of the energy, and you missed your opportunity. Here's the reality. Energy is formed by the healing process. So when I go around people, when I'm in a room and I feel good energy, I want to be around those people because I know they did the work.
Absolutely.
When I go in a room and I feel the negative energy, what I learned is, man, you haven't done no work, so we can't even talk.
At all.
Right? We can't even have a conversation, right? Because unless I'm coaching you.
Yeah.
And I'm for the charge you because if I got to deal with that negative energy, like you for the pay.
I can blame you.
That's tax. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
Yeah, like you said, like we finna work on it.
Yeah.
But when I go in a room and I feel that negative energy, all right, you ain't do no work yet. Because you're in a room around people that can bless you and that can help you go to the next level, and you with that type of energy.
Absolutely. You in your own way.
You're in your own right now. Like I remember being in my own way.
Yeah, me too.
Right? So I was what I called a bridge burner. So the moment you did one thing wrong to me, Like I was gonna destroy that bridge. Like I never wanted to cross paths with you ever again.
Right, right.
Some of that was on them. Some of that was on me.
Of course.
Right. So I had to learn how not to burn bridges. Right. So there's some relationships that I lost that I know that could be benefit to me now.
Right.
Like if I was in a healthier place.
Mhm.
Right. And they were genuinely trying to help me. They were genuinely trying to help me go to the next level. And I'm like, nah, you hate.
Yeah.
I don't want hating. They was just telling me the truth that I didn't want to hear. Right. I was in high school and one of our teachers said, you know, your testimony can only take you so far. And I was just big on sharing my story.
Yeah.
And it was like, there has to be more substance for you. It took me 10 years before I understood what he was actually trying to say.
Yeah.
He's like, in other words, face you, grow. So that way, when you get out there, you have multiple things to add, right?
Absolutely.
So like, yes, I get on planes and I get to travel and we'll talk about trauma. But I get to talk about business. I get to talk about entrepreneurship. Or I get to talk about boat fatherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get to talk about how to take your business to the next level.
Yeah.
I'm more than just this dude that gets to talk
Talk
about
about
trauma.
trauma. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at a young age, he was trying to tell me that.
Yeah.
My mind and my mentality couldn't grasp that at that time. And that's why I tell age doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Age does not matter. Because I'm around some people that are older than me. And I'm like, yo, you act like the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like you acting like a teenager.
Facts.
Now, right?
Facts.
So I like to say your trauma age.
Yeah.
Right? Because in the psychology world, they tell you that most of the time you get stuck with the pain.
Buddy.
So man, you 48, you 50 years old, and you still acting like you were when you were that 10, 11 little girl or that little boy, because you still haven't faced like that little boy or that little girl in you.
Yeah.
So that's why things around you don't work. You know what I mean? Like there's success and then there's temporary success.
Yeah, and that I need people to understand the difference between the two.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, you might be thinking that you winning right now, but if you feel like that you winning here and you lay down and you still got things going on in your head, you still thinking about all the negative stuff, how are you truly really winning? You're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I don't care. You might get accolades, you might do this, you might do that. But if you are not at home by yourself and being able to say that you are at peace, you ain't winning shit.
Man.
I don't care about a trophy. I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need those accolades. And you know, it's crazy because my coach tell me the same thing. Like, you do your content and stuff like that, but you don't promote like when you are in community. You don't promote when you are having conversations with other women. I struggle with that because I'm in my zone. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't thinking about that day. Now I take pictures all day. Don't get me wrong. And my friends be like, oh, there she go with them selfies and stuff. Yeah, but when I'm operating in purpose, I don't be thinking about, recording that. And I think that, don't get me wrong. And also, like, even with the kids too, I sometimes feel like that they're being pressured to like have to show up on social media and show up on cameras for somebody else's benefit, and that's a struggle for me too. I just want us to, if we're going to be authentic in that, we don't need validation from anybody else to do it.
Right. Who are you when the lights are on?
There you go.
Right. And that's, man, I remember when I had that conversation once and I was able to look at myself like, dang, dog, you suck.
Yeah.
Right. They may praise you when you leave these doors, but when you come here, like, you suck.
Yeah.
And so I had to deal with that part. And that was not fun.
No.
Because I lost so many people when I had, like, I can't really do that. Like, I got to work on me right now.
Yes.
I got to begin to, like, hit some areas in my life that are tough.
Yeah. And people want you to, like, flip switches.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I want you to change for this. Yeah. But when you around me, you still got to be the same, this old person. And I can't because this is me as a whole. Right. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't accept that, can't.
But the old you is more beneficial.
There you go.
They don't know how to benefit off the new, and that's the mentality and the mindset.
It is.
Because truth is, this is the you that they should be running to.
You better say it again.
Right. They should.
I know.
Man, the old you, like, there's no benefit. Mm-hmm. The only thing it was benefit, the only person that was benefiting was them.
Yeah.
And that's why they want you to go there. When that mind begins to heal, when your mindset begins to change, like you're around, you want positivity. So like,
all I want,
man, my circle was so small.
Yeah.
And people like, man, you're very standoffish. I was like, no, I promise you, I'm not.
I'm not.
I protect myself.
Yeah.
Because if we have a relationship, I got to know I can trust you,
Absolutely.
right? And the truth is, I can't
Yeah.
because I watch what you post on social media.
Absolutely. But and people are like, oh, don't go off my social media. I'm going definitely
Social
going off your
media.
social
I watch how you respond to other people.
Yeah.
Like, I was at a school one day and I was doing a consulting job.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was talking to the janitor, right? Because what schools don't know is the janitor are your eyes.
You better say it again.
They see everything. And because of their role,
Yeah.
most people don't look at them as having value or asset.
Mm-hmm.
I don't value titles, I value people.
There you go.
And the information this lady was able to give me helped me take that school to the next level.
Yeah.
But when other people saw me talking to her, they literally asked me, "Why are you talking to the janitor?"
Y'all, where y'all at?
Yeah, well, you meant the janitor. This lady just gave you the game, right? So, or when I'm out, like I love having conversations like with homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget. We go outside and we're at this Denny's, and I saw a dude and told my homie, "Go get him and let him sit with us."
Yeah.
The whole restaurant
Tripping like.
tripping. I mean, they were like, "Yo, what are y'all doing?" Craziest thing. This dude was a multimillionaire. Knows business. The game he gave us at that table is why I am where I am today. Right?
That's crazy.
But when I asked him what brought you here, and he lost his son at a young age, and he never had a chance to deal with that.
Yeah.
So he was homeless because he lost his son, and that made a strain between him and his wife as they were going through the grieving.
Yeah.
Right? And because he was wealthy, most people never saw him weak.
Yeah.
And so that's what led him to the homeless.
Damn.
All of the gems, all of the things that made him a millionaire was still inside of him. That
Yeah.
when he gave us the game. Like, I'm talking like game.
Yeah.
Like, what we paid for his meal can never amount to the value that he gave us before.
Yeah.
So, like, even when you in rooms, I don't really care about a title, right? You know what I'm saying?
We gotta get out of that. Like, they gotta get out of there because I'm out of it.
I care about the people.
Yeah.
Right? Because you never know who has value. You never know who's going to be able to add value.
And if you're going off of a title just because you think they got value, because what I have learned on my journey is those with titles don't know shit. Hey, I'm being so real. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for education. You know, I got degrees and stuff like that. But when it comes to the journey that I'm on right now, I'm not even using them. You know what I'm saying? Business wise, yeah, you know, don't get it twisted now. Financials, stuff like that, I'm using that shit. But when it comes to like my everyday purpose, I'm not using them. You know, so it's like I can sit here and say life experience to me is going to trump everything when it comes to the journeys that we have walked, right? You know what I'm saying? Because we can even step outside of ourselves and say, okay, let me see it from this perspective, this perspective, this perspective, because that's a part of the journey.
Right.
And I just want people to really start understanding that it's going to be an ugly situation and might be ugly for a while. But I know that we can both agree that it's not going to be ugly forever.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Here's the truth. At one point in life, if you want freedom, there's an ugly season.
Hey, it's going to be sacrifices, consequences, casualties, all of that. You know, we was just talking about this before we started recording. The fact of there are going to be things that are going to be lost with regards to the true freedom that we really are seeking. Because we free to walk the streets every day, but really what aspects of freedom are we in right now?
Man, I tell people, like when I'm coaching with them, I say, give me 90 days.
Yeah.
90 days? Yeah, absolutely. Give me 90 days to get you.
Like, you think you're going to be able to recondition your whole life in a week?
I told them 90 days. Because the first 30 days, like, we dealing.
They might quit.
We dealing. Like, no, we working. Like, I'm talking about the good, the bad, the ugly.
Hey,
like,
especially the ugly.
We working on that.
Yeah.
Right? And then the second month, it's really me supporting you going back to those habits. Right? So, and then when we get into the 90-day mark from 60 to 90 days, now we're talking about that mindset.
Yeah.
Right? Now I'm watching you live that. And then you're asking me how to navigate this. Like now you're walking in that. And then I'm just helping you continue that process.
Yes.
Right? Because most people want this quick fix.
Yes.
And it ain't quick.
There ain't nothing quick.
My healing journey took me 12 years.
Hey, you better say it again.
Yeah.
My healing journey took me 4, and that's where I'm still at right now. Still going.
Like, to get here to the years,
Yeah.
I was scared. Like, I'm talking, one of the things you hear all the time, like relationships.
Yeah.
Like, and when I go places, they're like, man, I can't believe you still sing. I was like, oh, I can.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to get to a place to where, like, I knew that I was ready for that.
Absolutely.
Because the truth is, when you go into something and, like, you haven't really worked on other, you're going to get the same.
And you're going to attract exactly what's inside you. And then, you know, those trauma bonds and all that stuff. And people don't even understand that. And then they be like, oh, you know, and, you know, especially with me, with women, because when I advocate for women, the first thing that women think is I'm just automatically going to rock with you, whatever. Hell no. I'm holding you accountable first and foremost. You know, I was just talking about, because I had a lady was talking about, I'm the mama and the daddy. You not.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? You are not. Stop trying to take on the role of a father. If they didn't have one, okay, I get it. But that does not mean you get to take on that role. Stop doing that. Get out of that.
So people say, can a woman raise a man to be successful? And the answer to that is yes. Right? But if you look at the research and you look at the data, the likelihood of that happening is slim to none.
Hey, well, we'll talk about the numbers though.
Yeah. Because, but I mean, the truth is, it can't be done. And here's the deal. There are moms who are really doing their thing and still struggling with their kids.
Absolutely.
Right? So, like, you don't have to wear that badge of honor. Like, man, nah. What you should be doing is finding a brother, uncle, or dude in the community to be like, look, I'm doing my thing. Like, he's good.
Yeah.
But I want him to be great.
There you go.
So can you take a couple of hours with him, you know, a month, and just give him like that man, right? So my philosophy is this. I believe that women were made to nurture and men were made to shape. And so we got a lot of people out here in their feelings, because they've been nurtured their whole life.
And still being nurtured.
Being nurtured. And nobody ever came to them and learned how to, like, shape them, right?
Yeah.
So I always laugh because people are like, man, you're so white. I'm telling you, man, I get it all the time. And they're like, man, you're so white. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Well, you talk about everything, like you open with your feelings, you open with your emotions. I said, no, that is natural. Okay. That's what I'm supposed to be doing, right?
But we don't know that.
Yeah. And here's the truth. The hood side is still, you and I both know you probably don't want to see that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to break, and I don't want to break that. And I don't want to bring that out.
I'm not going to bring it out. Not for you.
Yeah, no.
Because if it come out, ain't no telling.
And here's the most craziest thing. I know what comes with that, right?
Yes, indeed.
The only thing it promised me is jail.
Yep.
Right? Or death.
Yep.
And somebody else getting hurt. So I already know there's no good coming out of that.
Yes.
So therefore,
I ain't going there.
I'm gonna respond.
And if you are somebody that want to take me there, I need you to help with from real. I'm finna eliminate that whole barrier right there. We're gonna just go ahead and then it's like, well, I know everything, but it's all good though. And I'm gonna keep it pushing because I'm not even finna give conversation about it. We're not even gonna converse about that. It is what it is. It's done. It's over. That's just what it is.
The most beautiful thing in my life right now is not what I do, but it's fatherhood. Man,
I love it.
Man, it is fatherhood because I learned so much from it. Right?
Yeah.
Like my daughters don't know my past. They're only 8.
Yeah.
What they see is a dad that loves them, a dad that cares, a dad that's willing to play dolls with them, snuggle with them, and also shape them as they go out into this world, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what like freedom looks like. My daughter showed me what reconciliation, what healing looks like. Yeah. Because my dad wasn't there. Yeah. Like, I remember when they were born, I was like, when they put my babies in my head, I was like, what you want me to do with this? Hey, I was so thirsty.
Absolutely.
And at first I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the opposite of what my dad did. And that's not even right.
Right.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to read some books. I'm going to study. And I'm just going to grow at this fatherhood thing every single day.
Absolutely.
Right? One of my daughters, like, she was like, I was like, man, y'all so spoiled. And she was like, well, you did it, Daddy. I was like,
hey, that wasn't an accountable moment.
Yeah. But then again, it wasn't even necessarily about like them being spoiled.
Yeah.
It was more about like I'm at a place to be able to do this thing.
Be able to do it.
Like we can Like my parents didn't have money to take us to the movies or to go on a trip and just be in a hotel just because they want us to win.
Yeah.
But because I built that wealth and that income to be able to do that,
Yes.
like we have those opportunities
Absolutely.
to be able to do that. And I really wanted to say this because when we were talking about fatherhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, I pay child support.
Right.
Right. At the same time, like my goal is to make sure, because I share 50-50 custody with my daughters, is that they have the same experience at my house as they do as their mom.
Mm-hmm.
So even if that means, like the mom reached out the other day, was like, I was taking to the movies. All right, cool. Here's something on that. All right, get the popcorn and get the drink. She knows that she can text me or call me anytime about a need or something.
It's about them.
Yeah, it's about them. And that's what I knew I do. But when I go in the circles, people say, "Oh, you wrong for that, man. I wouldn't be doing that." Like, of course you wouldn't. But I guarantee you, if I look around, those aspects of your life are broken.
Ooh, I'm talking about
right. There's no healing in that. And so, like, and my daughter said the other night, we have like out of nowhere, she goes, "That is good. That is fair. Like, you get 50%. What else? We get 50% of mine, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's healthy.
It's about them.
Yeah.
It's about really being able for them to grow up and be able to say, I grew up in a mentally healthy environment.
Yeah.
And guaranteed they gonna be the ones that's gonna thrive more than the ones that's talking about, oh, you never should be giving up child support. You give up the courts and that's it, you know.
But when you know that time, you ain't healed yet.
Yeah.
Right. You out here fighting. And the truth is, your kids are like, man, we want both of you. And they can't get both of y'all because y'all at each other's throat.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means you got to make sacrifices. Yeah. And sometimes that means you got to swallow your pride. But if that swallowing my pride and my daughters being healthy is way better than me being prideful and my daughters are unhealthy.
Struggling
right?
because of it.
I'm in schools, I'm speaking all the time.
Yeah.
Right. And when I'm in those schools, then those are the number one things that I see. Right. Those are the number one things that I see.
I bet.
I've never seen a kid thriving who had parents that didn't get along. They may not show it, but it's there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's there. And my goal was to break the generational curses and give them an opportunity to just see what it's like to live with their life. And with challenges. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't shield them with you. I allow them to experience. I'm just there to rock with you.
Yeah. And that's what it's stuff. I'm so glad that you're in them how to remain mentally healthy on those obstacles and on that journey. So like that's the ultimate tool.
So like I tell people, Monday and Tuesdays I'm locked in with those are my days. Now, if I needed to fly out Monday and Tuesday, their mom was cool with it. But it's double.
Exactly.
Like it's double that price. They're like, huh?
Because you taking away from my time.
I'm going for my kids. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I can show you videos right now when I pull up to that bus stop and it's Monday and they had a weekend with their mom and they running to the bus stop. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, and the reason why I'm sharing this is because like we talked about my life in the beginning.
Absolutely.
Right? And how rough and how horrible it was. Man, but it is so good, Keisha, to be on the other side. It is so good to be on the other side.
Yeah.
Being on the other side is amazing.
It is.
And most of us won't get there.
Yeah.
Because we're afraid of it.
We are afraid of it.
We are afraid of the losses.
Yeah.
We are afraid of the people that won't like us.
Yeah.
Or they gonna not like you whether you're doing good or you're doing bad.
Because really they about don't like you right now.
Yeah,
They just don't know because you operate with your fake energy.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And they operate in their fake energy. Yeah, fake gonna bond with fake. You know what I'm saying? So you right. And like you said, I do love that you talking about the other side.
Yeah, the other side is so
because it's possible. We have the capability, but you just gotta be ready to do that work.
And that's so dope. Like to be in a place to where like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, like you're in a good. I never knew what that looked like.
Yeah.
Like I was comfortable with struggle. Yeah. You know?
And we are, especially as a culture.
Yeah.
That's what we comfortable with.
Yeah.
Oh, I grew up in the hood. I've been struggling all my life. That's not a clout. That's not a bragging point. I ain't gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna say that. Yep, I did grow up like that. I did grow up when my grandma, my mom was in out of jail, but you're not gonna hear me constantly bringing that to the forefront. What you're gonna hear about is what I'm doing now, how I'm overcoming. I love that. Speaking of overcoming, let's get into that. Let's talk about what we got upcoming.
Oh man,
That's overcoming.
Oh,
Please tell us about, anything you got going on, because let me tell y'all something. He is definitely worldwide, okay, y'all? But he actually has a book that is actually coming out here shortly as we record. So please tell us a little bit more about it.
Oh man, so the first book I wrote was during my rough season in 2020. It was called Pain, Trauma, Suicide: How I Overcame. And so what led me to write that book was I looked around and I couldn't see a mental health book like with a black man's face on it. So I wrote the book, put my face on it, and it's right there in your face from the title to everything. And so the book did well. I didn't market it because I just really wanted just to get it out there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I didn't want people to just identify with my pain and give me that woe is me, because
hey, right. So quick the default to that woe is me stuff.
It ain't no woe is me.
Yeah.
Like, man, because I'm on the other side.
Right?
And yes, there's still things that you go.
Absolutely.
I still go to therapy once a month.
Absolutely.
But before it was the trauma we talked about. Now we talk about a lot of the success.
Yes.
And how if I would have stayed there, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or we talk about like when I'm in business meetings and sometimes I just quiet because
I'm in reflective mode.
Yeah. Or I don't want the competition aspect. You know what I'm saying? So, but I wrote that book, Pain, Trauma, Suicide, and so now, man, I'm in a place to where I'm ready to write the real stuff. And so in September, we're releasing the book. It's called The Power of Overcoming. Believe it, be it, live it, give it.
Oh.
Yeah. And so we'll start those pre-sales in July. I'm really excited about this book because now we're talking a little bit about the pain, but now we're talking about that overcoming process. Because I genuinely want our people to start overcoming this stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like I want more Black millionaires in the world outside of sports and all that other stuff. Right? I want more Black fathers and Black mothers like living their lives. You know what I'm saying? But
living the life that was destined for them. Yeah.
And even outside of that, like I want people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want people, regardless of your race,
right,
to be able to just thrive and realize that things are overcomable.
But see, you with that mindset, that's also a part of the overcoming.
Yeah.
And the journey and your healing.
Yeah.
Because you're able to expand that. You know what I'm saying? Like just really embracing that as a whole instead of, and of course we definitely want better for our people, absolutely. But we want better for mankind as a whole.
Want better for mankind as a whole.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the more we talk about this generation.
Yeah.
But the more we as adults overcome, the better we get to leave a good legacy for the generation.
Absolutely. And it's never too late for
it's never
you
too
to
late
do
to
that.
overcome.
Like I want people to get that. Like it's never too late for you to say, you know what, I'm ready to do this work. It's never too late. I hear so many people say, it's too late for me. It's never too late.
You want the rest of your life to be the best.
Absolutely.
I don't, I had a conversation with a woman. She was like 62 years old. And she was sexually assaulted like at 8.
Yeah.
And she's never been able to get over that. Man, and we worked for we worked together for about like 6 months. And man, she is thriving.
I love it.
Right. And she's a true overcomer.
Yeah.
Right. And so even though she waited till she was in her 60s,
right,
the rest of her life.
Hey, and she extended her quality of life, period. You never know. Like extending that, like being able to holistically heal and take that journey for whatever that looks like for you is going to extend quality of life.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's done that for me. And I know it's done it for you because we could have sat in our struggle and stroked out, been hell, not diabetic and all of that. And not saying that those things are a result from that, but they can be.
Yeah. Actually, in the so there's this thing called the ACEs, Adverse Childhood Experiences. And inside of those ACEs, there's studies that the heart disease and the diabetes and all those things come from a lot of that extra stress on us, right?
Yeah.
Like to know what it's like to walk in freedom, man, is a whole another animal, right?
Absolutely.
Like, and the overcoming process.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so I was thinking about, like, I love like the whole Juneteenth thing.
Mhm.
Like I love it. I love that we get to celebrate.
Yeah.
But I'm like, at the same time, just imagine if that was like a daily culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I like to study. Like when I think about like Malcolm X and I think about like Martin Luther King,
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes we don't get the full picture of that because there's something that he said in his speech that you hardly ever hear, people talk about. Two things that I pull for that is when he says that men be judged by the content of their character. Right. That's a lot. People leave that out of there, right? Well, like we leave that out of there. But character is probably one of those things that not probably it's important.
Absolutely.
It's important on the overcoming process because there's some stuff that like we've done to people too.
Yeah.
That we have to be willing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
But we justify.
yeah, my biggest enemy was overcoming myself.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even half of the stuff I was like. I was scared to have money.
Yeah.
Right. I was scared to have money. I was scared to live a blessed life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember looking at my account, and I might have like $5,000 in there, but I would just go spend it because I felt uncomfortable having money in my bank account. You know what I'm saying? Like
we don't believe we're supposed to save. We believe we're supposed to profit and create to build it. We had that mindset of keeping our money in the shoe boxes and things, and while all the while everybody else was doubling their money. You know what I'm saying?
And the funny thing is, there are so many people out there that are thriving.
Yes.
That you could follow that'll lead you to a place, right? So some of the people that like I just definitely gotta give them their flowers.
Yeah.
Right? So like Eric Thomas.
Yeah.
That's my dog, man. Like, everything, like I've been to several of his conferences.
Yeah.
I went through his extreme execution training, and that's why I use that on my clients. But there's a lot I learned from them.
Absolutely.
Wall Street Traveler.
Yeah.
Like that dude killing it.
Absolutely.
So there are people that even look like us that we can go to that can actually teach us the game and show us how to be able to overcome those.
But you got to get out of being intimidated by these folks.
Yeah. I was scared.
Yeah.
I was scared of Eric Thomas because I thought his message at first was too sharp.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started healing, I was like, nah, bro, I need to be cut off. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you talk to him excuses, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, it's not the excuse, it's true.
Right.
Well, it's been my crutch for a long time. Man. I'm ready to learn how to walk.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's so much stuff out there for us to be able to.
It is. And there's a lot of resources out here. And, I no longer listen to anyone say that there aren't resources available for us because there are. But you just have to be ready to do it. Stop justifying, stop making it seem like, it's not things. There are. There are resources here locally in the city. There are resources and if you don't feel comfortable with speaking to someone locally in the city, then hey, there are online resources as well. But there are resources, income resources, mental resources, friend resources, like all of that, building the tribe. Like even now, because I love my tribes, right? I have several different tribes. I have a tribe of coaches. I have a tribe of friends. I have a tribe of fellow entrepreneurs. Like I have these 3 spaces and I can be myself in each one of these spaces, but that came along with that healing because I became open-minded to say, you know what, I can let other people in, those that are like-minded like me, like even though I meet with coaches, we used to meet every week, we meet once a month now, but we don't talk about coach stuff. We are each other's support system, with regards to what we might be going through. Now we might talk about like services that we want to introduce, but that's my safe space to be able to say, oh, I can bring all my ideas to them. I ain't got to worry about them trying to steal nothing. I got to worry about none of that, but I built them tribes, right? So like that's very important to say, hey, I'm going to do the work to build my tribes because I can't do this shit by myself. I want to be supported. And I used to have that mindset of, I don't need nobody helping me. I don't need no support. I don't need nobody to shit. That's a damn lie. You know what I'm saying? And I love that I have that. I love that I have those tribes and those safe spaces.
But that's again, that is the power of
you better say it again.
Right? Because you are facing things that have held you down for so long, right? And that's what I want people to be able to know and understand. Like, because when you overcome, it becomes a habit.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like, there's some trials that I still face, like John and Todd.
Yeah.
Like when I'm facing them, the cool thing is I know it's overcomable.
Exactly.
Because I know what it's like, you know what I mean? And there's power in that.
Yep.
So I'll often, tell people that like the system and all they messed up on allows me to find freedom. Because now I've been on that journey of trying to give freedom to anybody that comes into my presence. Right. So guess what? You want them to go to prison or you want them to be a part of that system. Now they're gonna be a part of this system of winners, right? Of overcomers, of people that have pushed themselves regardless of where they come from, whether it's physical, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, whatever it is that they're facing, like they overcome it and now you got overcomers on.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so when I go into schools and I talk to kids and my mom, my dad, my dad did it. Okay, cool, me too.
Yeah. And then when you say that, they like, huh?
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. So which way you want to go?
Which way you want to go?
It's fully up to you. It's fully up to you where you're gonna go.
Yeah.
It can't no only person that can determine that is you. Can't nobody stop you from that.
The power lies with you.
Like the one thing that I'm hoping that this book does for people is that they no longer value other people's opinions over their own, right? Because you never know the place that people are coming from.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know if it's healthy. You don't know if it's from a jealous place. You don't know if it's from a self-sabotaging place, right? Like you have to first be secure and sure in who you are.
Yeah.
If you run a business, you need to be secure in the product or whatever it is that you're selling.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to push stuff. Right? Like I don't even advertise my culture.
Yeah.
And I got enough people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why do they come? Because other people went to them and said, man, this is the freedom that I got.
Absolutely. Right? Yeah.
If you ever want to come and work, I guarantee you we'll get you there. Right? We'll get you there.
Yeah.
As long as you want to work. And we work together. I'm not going to save you. Because me waiting on Superman or Superwoman to save you, it never happened.
Hey, come on.
I had to learn how to save myself. So,
and
man.
That right there, y'all, I can tell y'all right now, y'all ain't listening to nothing else in this episode. You better listen to that. The power lies with you. It starts with you. It ends with you. Everything has to begin and end with you. You got to want it.
Yeah.
We can't do the work more than you.
Nobody going to do work.
Hey, because I know what I'm doing. So what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So can't let them know where they can find you. Like we need all social deets. We need website deets. We need all of that because I'm going to put it in the notes to y'all, but I definitely want him to.
Yeah. So on all social media platforms is Yogi Inspires.
Okay.
So just at Yogi Inspires.
Okay.
Email is info@Yogi Inspires.
Okay.
So if they're interested in coaching or interested in them, just hit me up on any of those platforms.
Right.
And I'll respond.
Okay.
Sometimes I may not be right away,
hey.
but I try to respond to all emails and things within 24 hours.
Okay, cool.
So yeah,
y'all definitely got to follow him. Like definitely got to make sure
you follow
him on social media, because he as real as it get. You know what I'm saying? And I love the word that we're gonna take away from this is overcoming.
Facts.
Because that is what it's all about for us. The journey is going to be uncomfortable, y'all. It's going to be hard. It's going to be days where you're gonna want to give up. I'm telling you, because it's easier to do that. But the freedom on the other side,
man,
baby, it is so fulfilling. Okay.
And I'll say this, like, I love what Martin Luther King did when he came and he fought for our physical freedom.
Yeah.
But I feel like no one came behind him and helped with the emotional, right? The emotional aspect. So we were physically free, but mentally and emotionally in our communities, we've never been free.
I think we got somebody that's stepping up into that.
Yeah, man. You know, it's funny because when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, yo, I'm on my heart.
And you is.
Man,
I love it.
I love it. Hold on, heart, because even though they freed us, we were never free.
Yeah.
Because truth is, physical freedom doesn't equate to mental and emotional freedom.
Better say it again.
And if you look at the number one thing that's destroyed us and has kept us down, it's been the mental and emotional.
Yeah, right. And it still is to this day.
Oh man, I want to say it, and I got to. In my first book, one of the things that I wrote that was just a powerful moment for me was it was easier for me to hurt people who look like me because I was hurt by people who look like me. And I feel like in our community, it's so easy for us to hurt each other, to shoot each other, to try to destroy each other's character or whatever, because we've been hurt by the same people that look like us. But now when I look at my sisters and my brothers and I look at them, like I see who they can be.
Yeah.
So some of my favorite friends are like the knuckleheads that are, you know what I'm saying, running the streets,
Yeah.
right? But I see the good in them.
Yeah.
So like if one of them gets shot and they lose their life, like I still remember the conversation that we had.
Absolutely.
The world may see him as this thug or running the street, but I saw that kid that said, "Man, I was hoping to get out, but I didn't know
Yeah.
how to escape that." Right? So I feel like when we begin to heal in that aspect, physically we there,
Yep.
mentally, emotionally, financially, like all the other ways to win, we as a whole had never won in those areas.
Yeah.
So you'll never be a brain coach.
Yeah.
And all of that can be backed up by psychological data.
Absolutely.
So the fact that information is out there,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we know it,
Yeah.
and we still not doing anything about it.
Dang.
Like, well, that's a notch.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. That's
Like-
why I said it's no longer the whole we're being held back. The system trying to hold us back. No, they're not. You are trying to hold yourself back, and you are using that as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time to stop making excuses. Get your ass up and do what it is that you need to do to heal, to prosper, and to thrive.
Yeah.
Simply put, hey Ken, this was so dope,
Man.
Look.
Look, man, I love to be able to have real conversations.
Absolutely.
I really, because like it's what I do really isn't even about me.
Yeah.
But it's about others.
Exactly.
Because I found my peace.
Yeah.
I found my purpose. I found my passion.
Yeah.
Like I just really want people to be able to discover that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about the accolades. It's not about knowing. I mean, that comes with the territory.
It comes with the territory, right?
But ultimately, like when we're in the room together and I'm in a room with people, man, I'm in love.
Yeah.
Because what I know is
you're about to make an impact on one, and you're gonna see somebody coming to you later on, like that's such a sense of fulfillment. Like, man, I heard what you said 6 months ago at this thing, and I ain't had a chance to say nothing to you, but man, you changed my life. Man, I'd be ready to cry.
Or the emails you get, that's just like, bro, like you.
The inbox is like all of that.
Like a lot of black men hit me up and say, man, like you made me feel like it's okay to talk.
Period.
Yeah. Hey, ladies, I'm gonna help y'all out real quick.
Please.
All right, I gotta help.
Please tell them.
Everybody keeps saying like, man, how do I keep a man? How do I get? Let me tell you something. If you are in a place or in a relationship, and a man can be vulnerable with you, and not be a weak man, but I'm saying a man is able to have weak moments and trust you with his emotions and his feelings,
and don't get thrown in his face later.
Man, girl, he ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
He ain't. I'm telling you, he ain't going nowhere.
God.
And then you there, the chick, man, you got this.
Yep.
It's over with.
Yep.
Like I'm gonna give you the world.
And if you can't do that, ladies, then it's time for you to have a conversation with somebody so you can get to that point. Because everybody has things that they need to work on. And if you feel like a man being vulnerable with you is sassy, I think that's the word that they've been using lately, then hey, you need to go have some conversation because you need to get out your masculine. But I think we might say that for another conversation.
We're gonna say that for another conversation. That's all other man.
All right, y'all. We out of here.
We out of here.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the podcast. I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in, baby. We out of here.
We out of here, man. Peace.